and I am going in. We are the true creators. We are the original beings of light. We are the sons of the light of God. We are the power. And here's what the cuckoo bird has done to us throughout time. Since they have been here, parasites, parasitic. There's no getting along with a cuckoo bird. There's no reasoning with the cuckoo bird. The cuckoo bird has zero comprehension for your existence to get along with you. It does not pick that energy up because it's not the same, okay? Here are 20 black towns and communities that were destroyed or severely damaged by government forces, law enforcement, or organized white mobs, often with government complicity in America. Greenwood District, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. Well, that's what we got to do. See, I got some cuckoo birds upstairs. Some fucking idiots that don't got nothing else to do but want to bother me while I'm minding my own motherfucking business. And then these same ass bitches that'll sit up here and say they scared or something. Cuckoo birds. That's what I'm talking about. They interfere. They stupid as fuck. They don't got nothing else to do. This is dumb shit. Mind your own motherfucking business. Y'all see what I just had to do? That's what I'm talking about. Cuckoo birds. These would be the same ass people that if you confront them for the dumb shit they do interfere in your life, they'll start crying, I'm scared. Some little punk bitches. Mind your own motherfucking business. Because what I'm doing don't got nothing to do with you and I'm in my own vicinity. Okay? So sometimes we got to take a moment and then we have to kick ass and chew bubblegum because these motherfuckers got us fucked up. Back to what I'm talking about. Here are 20 black towns and communities that were destroyed or severely damaged by government forces, law enforcement, or organized white mobs, often with government complicity in America. Greenwood District, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1921. We know about that. Rosewood, Levy County, Florida, 1923. An entire black town was burned to the ground by a white mob. Local law enforcement did nothing to stop it. Move bombing. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 1985. The Philadelphia police dropped a bomb from a helicopter onto a residential neighborhood, killing 11 people, including 5 children, and burning down 61 homes. We see today what these cuckoo birds are doing. We see it today. And they call themselves rabbis and shit. Rabbis taking black homes that you inherited, that you worked hard for, and you did everything right to get. And these parasites are running around doing what parasites do. Kill, steal, destroy, rob, take, the shit that they do. And then the law plays this fake ass law shit and helps them along. The cuckoo birds. Reconstruction era Hamburg, South Carolina, 1876. Black militia members were attacked and killed by white supremacist groups with government complicity during the collapse of Reconstruction. Colfax Massacre, Colfax, Los Angeles, 1873. One of the deadliest racial massacres in United States history. Black residents defending a courthouse were slaughtered by a white mob. Over 100 black men were killed. Wilmington Massacre, Wilmington, North Carolina, 1898. Elaine Massacre, Elaine, Arizona, 1919. East St. Louis Massacre, East St. Louis, Illinois, 1917. A white mob attacked black residents while police and National Guard troops stood by or participated. Estimated 100 to 200 black people were killed. Atlanta Race Massacre, Atlanta, Georgia, 1906. White mobs attacked black communities throughout the city, killing dozens, while police largely ignored or joined in. The Ocoee Massacre. I may not be pronouncing this name right, but it's Ocoee. OCOEE in Florida in 1920. On election day, a white mob burned virtually the entire black community to the ground after black residents attempted to vote. Dozens were killed. This is repeating. Slocum Massacre, Slocum, Texas, 1910. White men went farm to farm, killing black residents. Estimates suggest over 200 black people were murdered. No one was convicted, as usual. Springfield race riot, Springfield, Illinois, 1908. A white mob destroyed black neighborhoods in Abraham Lincoln's hometown, prompting the founding of the NAACP. Longview race riot, Longview, Texas, 1919. Knoxville race riot, Knoxville, Tennessee, 1919. Chicago race riot, Chicago, Illinois, in 1919. Omaha race riot, Omaha, Nebraska, 1919, a black man was lynched and the courthouse was burned. Black residents and neighborhoods were targeted throughout the city. Opelousas Massacre. The Opelousas, Los Angeles, 1868. It was in 1868. Over 200 to 300 black people were killed by white supremacists to suppress black political activity during Reconstruction. Pierce City, Missouri, 1901. The entire black community was driven out of town by a white mob after a lynching. Black residents never returned, and the town was essentially ethnically cleansed. Forsyth County, GA, 1912. After false accusations against black men, the entire black population of Forsyth County, over 1,000 people, was driven out by white mobs and never allowed to return for decades. Independence Heights, Houston, Texas, ongoing displacement, one of the first black incorporated cities in Texas. It was annexed by Houston and systematically dismantled through racially targeted urban renewal and highway construction projects backed by local and federal government. These events represent a painful and largely undertaught chapter of American history. Many survivors and descendants have never received reparations or restitution, a formal acknowledgement, though some cities and states have begun formal investigations and apology processes in recent years. Apologies. Moving on. Here are 20 more black towns and communities destroyed or decimated by government forces, law enforcement, white mobs with government complicity or systemic government policy. Seneca Village, New York City, New York, 1857. A thriving black landowner community in what is now Central Park was seized by the city through eminent domain and demolished, displacing hundreds of black residents who had built churches, schools, and homes there. What is happening today? Because that black and white shit is over with. Because they're doing eminent domain now on you. And you know who I'm talking to. They're doing the eminent domain on everybody. But now it doesn't matter that your color, your skin color is a certain color. They're doing eminent domain on the lighter shades. Yeah, they're coming for your shit too. Because all of that was nothing but the government. The elite pushing the bought government to separate the masses by color. And I guarantee you today it won't matter. Because now that they're doing these data centers, these so-called data centers, they're coming for your shit too. That never belonged to you in the first place. But moving along. Brooklyn, Tulsa, Greenwood neighborhood community, Oklahoma, 1921. Beyond the main Greenwood district, surrounding black neighborhoods were also looted and burned during the Tulsa massacre, wiping out additional black wealth and property. Did you hear that? Brooklyn, Tulsa, Greenwood neighborhood community, Oklahoma, 1921. Not only Black Wall Street, but beyond the main Greenwood district, which we call Black Wall Street in Tulsa, surrounding black neighborhoods were also looted and burned during the Tulsa massacre, wiping out additional black wealth and property. Freedmanstown, Houston, Texas, late 1900s. Founded by freed slaves after the Civil War, this historic Fourth Ward community was systematically dismantled through city-backed urban renewal projects, freeway construction, and gentrification that displaced nearly the entire black population. Black Bottom, Detroit, Missouri, or is that Michigan? I apologize, Michigan. 1950s through 1960s. A vibrant black cultural and business district was demolished by the city government under the guise of urban renewal, displacing over 100,000 black residents to make way for highways and development projects. Haiti, Durham, North Carolina, 1960s. One of the most prosperous black communities in the South, nicknamed the Black Wall Street of North Carolina, was destroyed when the city ran Interstate 147 directly through its heart, eliminating hundreds of black-owned businesses. Overtown, Miami, Florida, 1960s. Known as the Harlem of the South, this thriving black neighborhood was cut in half by I-95 construction approved by city and federal governments, collapsing a once self-sufficient community. And it just goes. Bronzeville, Chicago, Illinois, 1950s through 1970s, a historic black cultural hub, was decimated by city-sanctioned urban renewal. The construction of high-rise housing projects and racially discriminatory zoning that concentrated poverty and destroyed the community's economic base. Sweet Auburn, Atlanta, Georgia, 1950s through 1970s. The birthplace of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and once called the richest Negro street in the world, Sweet Auburn was gutted by the construction of I-75 and I-85. Which was deliberately routed through the black business district. Hate and jealousy, continuously there to destroy, to divide, to ruin. That's the Cuckoo bird. Vinegar Hill, Charlottesville, Virginia. 1960s, a self-sufficient black neighborhood with its own businesses and institutions was bulldozed by the city under urban renewal, scattering its community and erasing generations of black history. Mill Creek Valley, St. Louis, Missouri, 1959. Over 20,000 black residents were displaced when the city demolished this black neighborhood under urban renewal, calling it slum clearance, while destroying a deeply rooted community. Jackson Ward, Richmond, Virginia, 1950s through the 1970s. Once called the Black Wall Street of the East, this prosperous black district was divided and decimated by the construction of Interstate 95, which was deliberately routed through the community. Treme, New Orleans, Los Angeles. Post-Katrina, 2005. America's oldest African-American neighborhood was devastated when the federal levees failed during Hurricane Katrina. Government neglect and slow recovery efforts displaced thousands of black residents permanently, with many never returning. Africatown, Plateau, and this is ongoing, Alabama, founded by the last known survivors of the illegal slave ship Clotilda. This community has been systematically neglected and surrounded by industrial pollution from paper mills and chemical plants permitted by local and state governments, causing severe health crisis. Paramore, Orlando, Florida, 1960s to present time. A historic black community that was redlined, cut off by highway construction, and repeatedly targeted by city-backed redevelopment that has displaced black residents in favor of sports arenas and commercial development. Brooklyn, Charlotte, North Carolina, 1960s. Charlotte's thriving black neighborhood of Brooklyn was completely demolished through urban renewal. Over 1,000 black families and hundreds of black-owned businesses were displaced to build government and commercial facilities. And it just goes. It's continuous. Greenville, Sterling Community, Greenville, South Carolina, 1970s. A self-sustaining black neighborhood was destroyed through urban renewal and highway construction backed by city and federal government funding, scattering an entire generation of black families. Lincoln Heights, Cincinnati, Ohio, ongoing, is still happening. One of the few self-governing black municipalities in the country was economically strangled when surrounding white communities refused to let it connect to water and sewer infrastructure, forcing residents into poverty while the government looked away. Promised Land, South Carolina, post-Reconstruction. It's hot in here. Oh, I got my little napkin. Okay, Promised Land, South Carolina, post-Reconstruction. A community of freed slaves who had purchased land was systematically targeted through legal manipulation, tax exploitation, and violence backed by local government to strip black families of their land after Reconstruction ended. Boley, Oklahoma, post-1920s, one of the most successful all-black towns in America. Boley thrived during the early 1900s, but was economically strangled after the Tulsa Massacre created a climate of terror combined with federal agricultural policies that disproportionately denied black farmers loans and support, collapsing the town's economy. Yes, it is hot in here because this is hot. And you need to be paying attention because it keeps going. Yes, the black farmer thing, we know what's up with that. How it's continuously been advocated for by those that want to see it fail. Princeville, North Carolina, ongoing to this day. Ongoing means to this day, okay? The oldest town incorporated by African Americans in the United States, founded by free slaves in 1885, has been repeatedly devastated by floods, with critics arguing that the federal and state governments have consistently underfunded levee protection and disaster relief compared to surrounding white communities, essentially allowing the town to be slowly destroyed by neglect. I just exercised, so I'm going to be sweating a little bit. Across all 40 of these examples, a clear pattern emerges, whether through direct violence, eminent domain, urban renewal, highway construction, redlining, or deliberate neglect. Black towns and communities across America were systematically, still to this day, dismantled, often with full government participation or approval. This history is well documented by historians, and it's increasingly being acknowledged in public discourse, and though full reckoning and repair remain largely unfinished. Here are 20 more black towns and communities that were destroyed, displaced, or decimated through government action, law enforcement, military force, or systemic policy. Reconstruction era Mechanics Institute, New Orleans, Los Angeles, 1866. Federal and local police, along with Confederate veterans, massacred black Union veterans and their white allies who had gathered for a political convention. Nearly 40 people were killed and over 100 wounded, with police leading the attack. Mudtown, Birmingham, Alabama, 1950s through the 1960s. A black neighborhood systematically demolished, through city-backed urban renewal that displaced thousands of black families under the pretense of slum clearance, replacing their homes with white serving institutions. Yeah, this is hot. This is like, you gotta hear it out loud. You know what I mean? We ain't gonna just clump it all together and be like, oh, in history this happened. They been getting away with that shit. I want y'all to see we dealing with a fucking cuckoo bird. And we'll never get along with a cuckoo bird. Because a cuckoo bird only has one thing in its unnatural ass existence. And that is to kill you. Take everything that you have. Push your ass out the net. It don't look over to see if you fell softly and nicely. It don't give a shit. Okay? Sandtown, Winchester, Baltimore, Maryland. Decades of neglect. A once thriving black community was systematically defunded by city government, stripped of investment, redlined by banks with government backing, and subjected to aggressive over-policing that criminalized poverty rather than addressing it. Greenwood, Tulsa, Little Africa suburb communities, Oklahoma, 1921. Several smaller black settlements surrounding Tulsa were also raided and burned down during the 1921 massacre by deputized white civilians and National Guard units, extending the destruction beyond the well-known Greenwood district. See, these are stories that matter because we heard about Tulsa, Oklahoma, but we didn't hear that Tulsa was even bigger than the story of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Black Wall Street, Black excellence. We weren't told that even that area was thriving. It was bigger than Tulsa. Black Wall Street, Black excellence was everywhere. College Hill, Memphis, Tennessee, 1866. During the Memphis Massacre of 1866, white police officers and mobs attacked black neighborhoods for 3 days, killing at least 46 black people, raping black women, and burning black churches, schools, and homes while the federal government failed to intervene. How convenient. Newton, Sarasota, Florida, 1940s to present day. Present day. A historic black community founded after emancipation was systematically isolated through racially motivated zoning, denied city services for decades, and later targeted by redevelopment plans that displaced black residents without adequate compensation. The Flats, Akron, Ohio, 1950s through the 1960s. A thriving black neighborhood was demolished through urban renewal and highway construction backed by federal and city funding, scattering thousands of black families and eliminating an entire ecosystem of black-owned businesses. Sharp in Columbia, Missouri, 1960s. Columbia's only black commercial district, known as the Sharp End, was entirely wiped out through urban renewal funded by the federal government, eliminating over 30 black-owned businesses and displacing hundreds of black families. Greenwood, Tulsa adjacent community of Archer Street, Oklahoma. The Archer Street corridor, a key artery of black commerce adjacent to Greenwood, was also destroyed in the 1921 massacre and never fully rebuilt due to the city's refusal to compensate survivors or allow reconstruction. Do you see this? So not only was the Greenwood district thriving, they made it seem as though it was this area in Oklahoma where they had started to thrive. No. It was a connected system of thriving of black communities together, branched and connected throughout Tulsa, Oklahoma. Not just the Greenwood district, but all through Tulsa, Oklahoma. Don't that just hit different when you find out that not only was Tulsa, Oklahoma Black Wall Street, Black excellence was thriving, but the other Black cities within Oklahoma, the other Black communities were equally thriving. And the jealousy and the unnatural existence of the fucking cuckoo bird, not minding his own business, not just paying attention to building his own shit, was jealous, envious. And in his blood, something different runs there. Because our people were building and they were focused on tearing it down. Although all these communities independently were thriving, it wasn't like they were robbing and stealing and pillaging their communities. It was the jealous nature of the cuckoo bird. And the cuckoo bird doesn't have a jealousy of, hey, I need to do better. The cuckoo bird has a jealousy of, I want to kill. I want to unalive them. It doesn't get its own. It's jealous. It's evil. It's disgusting. You want to kill. Why don't you build your own? Y'all talk about that all day today like that's a fucking thing. Because we've already been there. We've already done that. These are other connected communities that were there thriving. And the fucking cuckoo bird to this day is still trying to take you out. That's its only driving force. Is to control, deceive, unalive, kill, steal, destroy. That's it. Greenwood, Tulsa, adjacent community of Archer Street, Oklahoma. The Archer Street corridor, a key artery of Black commerce adjacent to Greenwood, was also destroyed in the 1921 massacre and never fully rebuilt due to the city's refusal to compensate survivors or allow reconstruction. So if this so-called thing happened in Tulsa, why are all these other communities being affected? It's just an excuse to ravage, pillage, unalive, and destroy us. Georgetown, Lexington, Kansas. I apologize, Kentucky, 1960s. A historic Black neighborhood was destroyed by urban renewal projects backed by the city, with Black residents displaced to make way for a highway and commercial development while receiving little to no relocation assistance. Buttermilk Bottom, Atlanta, Georgia, 1960s. A Black neighborhood was bulldozed by the city of Atlanta under urban renewal to build the Civic Center, displacing thousands of Black residents who were given inadequate compensation and few relocation options. Jonestown, Mississippi Delta, post-Reconstruction, a community of Black sharecroppers and landowners was systematically stripped of land through legal manipulation, debt peonage enforced by local sheriffs, and violent intimidation backed by county government officials throughout the late 1800s and early 1900s. Brooklyn, Savannah, Georgia, 1960 through 1970s. Savannah's historic Black neighborhood was cut apart by highway construction and urban renewal projects, destroying Black businesses, churches, and homes, while the city directed resources and investment to white communities. Harlem, New York City, New York, 1990s through the present day, today. While not destroyed in a single event, Harlem's historic Black community has been systematically displaced through decades of city-backed gentrification policies, rezoning, and the withdrawal of affordable housing protections that have pushed Black residents out of their ancestral neighborhood. Present day, Kinloch, St. Louis County, Missouri, 1980s through 2000s. Missouri's first Black municipality was economically strangled when surrounding white municipalities refused regional cooperation. The city angst cut surrounding land, isolating Kinloch and Lambert airport expansion backed by government eminent domain, demolished hundreds of black homes, ultimately destroying the town entirely. Cairo, Alexander County, Illinois, 1960s through the 1970s. A black community that organized for civil rights was subjected to police violence, economic boycotts by white businesses backed by local government and National Guard occupation that terrorized black residents for years, ultimately driving the black population out of the city almost entirely. Southside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 1950s, 1960s through the 1960s. The Hill District, Pittsburgh, historic black neighborhood was partially demolished when the city used eminent domain to displace 8,000 black residents and 400 black businesses to build the civic arena, a decision later acknowledged as racially discriminatory. 8,000 to build a civic center. Resurrection City, Washington, D.C., 1968. The Poor People's Campaign tent city on the National Mall, home to thousands of black and poor Americans demanding economic justice, was forcibly dismantled by the United States Park Police, who tear gassed residents and arrested over 200 people, including the campaign leaders. This is terror, terrorizing, terrorism, right here in America, right here in your hometown, by the Cuckoo birds. Mossville, Calcasso, I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be getting it wrong. It's spelled Calcasieu. Calcasso Parish, Los Angeles, ongoing to this day. A 200-year-old black community founded by free people of color was, I don't like that word, but to bring in, hey, this is what was going on then, and that's what they were calling us, colored, was gradually destroyed as state and local governments permitted over a dozen petrochemical plants to be built surrounding the town, poisoning residents with toxic pollution. The community was ultimately bought out and demolished after residents suffered disproportionate cancer and illness rates. And they call this civilized. They're creating civilization. They're taking us beyond the past, because those back in the day were hunters and gatherers. Remember that story they told us about the hunters and the gatherers and how these people were banging rocks and stuff together? Just cuckoo bird shit. Lincoln City, Louisville, Kentucky, 1960s through the 1970s. A self-sufficient black neighborhood, because they all were self-sufficient. We didn't need handouts. We didn't need their help. Self-sufficient. Black neighborhood with its own schools, businesses, and churches was demolished through federally funded urban renewal, with black residents dispersed throughout the city and their community institutions permanently erased to make way for a highway interchange. When you look at all 60 communities across these three lists, the destruction of black towns and communities in America was not accidental. It was a sustained, and to this day, multi-century pattern carried out through massacres, legal manipulation, urban renewal schemes, highway construction schemes, environmental racism carried out, and deliberate economic strangulation often with direct government involvement at the local, state, and federal levels. Scholars, journalists, and activists continue working to ensure these stories are not forgotten. But what we haven't done is read this shit out loud. Because we have to know it out loud. So you can never say, you didn't know it was to this degree. Because, yeah, we're not doing that. Roseland, Chicago, Illinois, 1960s to present day. A once thriving black middle-class neighborhood on Chicago's South Side was deliberately defunded after white flight, as city government systematically withdrew services, closed schools, allowed infrastructure to crumble, and concentrated public housing in ways that trapped black residents in poverty. Promised Land, Abbeville County, South Carolina, ongoing. This community of free slaves who purchased their own land after the Civil War survived for generations, but has faced continuous legal challenges to land titles, property tax manipulation, and partition sales forced by courts that have stripped black descendants of ancestral land across the Carolinas and Georgia. Ongoing to this day. Glenarden, Prince George's County, Maryland, mid-1900s. One of Maryland's earliest black municipalities faced decades of state-backed discrimination in infrastructure funding. Road access, and utility connections that white neighboring communities received automatically, forcing black residents to fight illegally for basic services for generations. Thank you. Liberty City, Miami, Florida, 1980s. During the McDuffie riots, triggered by the acquittal of police officers who beat Arthur McDuffie to death, one of the ones kind of under the radar, the National Guard occupied Liberty City, a historic black community with an overwhelming militarized presence that many residents described as an occupation that further traumatized and economically damaged the neighborhood for years afterwards. Kamala Massacre Community, Kamala, Georgia, 1868, during a political march by black voters and their allies, local police, and a white mob ambushed the group, killing at least a dozen black people and wounding dozens more. The attack destroyed the political organizing infrastructures of the surrounding black community and terrorized black voters into silence for years. Blacks in Forsyth County, Cumming, Georgia, 1912 through 1987. After the violent expulsion of the entire black population in 1912, Forsyth County remained essentially all white for 75 years. When civil rights marchers attempted to integrate the county in 1987, they were met by Klan members and white mobs, while local law enforcement provided minimal protection, demonstrating how the original violent erasure of the black community was actively maintained for 3/4 of a century. During McDuffie County, Georgia, early 1900s, a black land-owning community was systematically displaced through a combination of racially motivated legal manipulation, sheriff-backed land seizures, and violent intimidation that drove black landowners off property they had legally purchased after emancipation. Phyllis Whitley Community, Houston, Texas, 1950s through the 1960s, a historic black neighborhood built around one of the oldest black YWCAs in the South, was demolished through city-backed urban renewal, displacing thousands of black residents and erasing a community anchor that has served Houston's black population for generations. So when you build, they destroy. You building excellence, and they come and they bulldoze it. They're going to come with something, a part of their ratchet ass system, to take you back down, to take you out. I can't really see that we're ever down because we're always up. Our energy is always up. We're always building. We're always creating. But this cuckoo bird, the cuckoo bird, by its unnatural existence, has that one agenda: to take your nest, kick you out, put you to death, and never look back. Although it can't build for itself, it just has this something about wanting to get whatever you have. It's going to mimic what you have, take what you have, destroy what you have, claim what you have, try to put you on like a skin suit. East Palo Alto, San Mateo County, California, 1960 through 1990s, a predominantly black community was systematically redlined, denied the same infrastructure investments given to surrounding Silicon Valley communities, and later subjected to aggressive gentrification backed by city and county policies that displaced black residents as tech industry wealth expanded around them. So this is the pride of Silicon Valley, that they just built it all on their own, that they did everything right. There was no redlining. There was no stealing and robbing, and there was none of those things. There was no gentrification. They just got it naturally because they created. Because I hear a lot of the things that Silicon Valley they're getting from the Africans. Yeah, they get it from the young Africans, and then they come and they claim it as their own creation. And they ain't create shit. Boom, I said it. Bennettsville, Marlboro County, South Carolina, post-Reconstruction. Black landowners and political leaders who had gained property and influence during Reconstruction were systematically stripped of their land and power through violence, legal manipulation, and sheriff-enforced dispossession. As Reconstruction ended and white supremacist governance was restored. Back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. North Tulsa suburbs. Tulsa, Oklahoma, post 1921. Beyond the immediate Greenwood massacre, the broader North Tulsa black community faced decades of city-imposed barriers to Reconstruction, racially discriminatory zoning that prevented black residents from rebuilding on their own fucking land, and systematic denial of city services that permanently stunted the recovery of black Tulsa. These are good people. These are civilized people. The people who are wearing the brown shoes and the blue suits with the ties. Sunset, Lowndes County, Alabama, 1960s. Black communities throughout Lowndes County, one of the most dangerous counties in America for civil rights workers, were subjected to mass evictions backed by white landowners and sheriffs when black residents attempted to register to vote. Entire families were thrown off plantations in winter with nowhere to go. Weeksville, Brooklyn, New York, 1863 and beyond. One of the earliest free black communities in New York was attacked during the New York City draft riots of 1863, when white mobs burned black neighborhoods, killed black residents, unalived them, and destroyed black institutions, while police largely stood aside. Though Weeksville survived, the riots permanently destabilized free black communities throughout the city. Gordon Plaza, New Orleans, LA, ongoing. A black neighborhood built by the city government on top of a former toxic waste dump. The agriculture street landfill without disclosing the contamination to residents. Let me go back there. Gordon Plaza, New Orleans, Los Angeles, ongoing to this day. A black neighborhood built by the city government on top of a former toxic waste dump. The agriculture street landfill without disclosing the contamination to residents. Cuckoo bird. The cuckoo bird is always setting you up for failure, setting you up to get sick, setting you up to be unalived, setting you up to be ravished, setting you up to be pillaged, setting you up to be gentrified, setting you up for the setup. This is what it does. It doesn't know how to do anything constructively, naturally sound. That doesn't come with cuckoo bird methods tangled in it somewhere. Because the cuckoo bird is the cuckoo bird. A parasite, a parasitic, existing upon any other natural existing bird's life. You want to be the free bird and live. You just want to feed your chicks and have them go out in the world and carry on your bloodline. But the cuckoo bird comes in, steal the bloodline, steal the inheritance, steals the life. It doesn't know how to not be a troublemaker or narcissistic, psychopath, sociopath. All of that shit it created to try to put on us, it is. We're not naturally out here trying to start trouble and cause problems. Let's look at the history. Look at the data. Look at it. The Census Bureau. They started with that, the Census Bureau, to steal your inheritance. To steal what you were supposedly you're supposed to get from your family. This is the cuckoo bird. He set it all up from the beginning. Everything was to take from you. Everything is still to take from you. And you're trying to make amends with a psychopath. You're trying to get along with a fucking cuckoo bird. That motherfucker is still going to push you out the nest. Do you get it? You don't get it. Weeksville, Brooklyn, New York, 1863 and beyond. One of the earliest free black communities in New York was attacked during the New York City draft riots of 1863. When white mobs burned black neighborhoods, killed black residents, and destroyed black institutions while police largely stood by. Though Weeksville survived the riots, permanently destabilized free black communities throughout the city. The riots permanently destabilized free black communities throughout the city. Gordon Plaza, New Orleans, still ongoing. A black neighborhood built by the city government on top of a former toxic waste dump. Like, are you hearing these things? You're hearing these things. Tulsa had a system. Neighborhoods. Not just in the Tulsa. Like, you got to understand that. Tulsa had there were other neighborhoods thriving all around these cuckoo birds. And the cuckoo bird said that they're the most intelligent. They know this, they know that. They know how to create. But the cuckoo bird is jealous, envious. Because if the cuckoo bird could do its own thing, it would need to steal, kill, and destroy and come into your neighborhoods. And then it has an arrogance to say, and an ego to say, we just want to be left alone. We want our own neighborhoods. Fuck you. We've been doing that. The fucking audacity of the ignorance of a fucking psychopath to say you want your own neighborhoods. When we had our own neighborhoods, we left you to your own neighborhoods, but your neighborhoods wasn't doing so well. Instead of you building your shit up and minding your own fucking business, you came into all of our neighborhoods to try to make yourself look better. and then went out to the world and told the world that you was Jesus. Oh, fuck. Put in a white Jesus with blue eyes. It's just the number that they have done on my people. And to you guys, this will be in my up and coming book. Yeah, because I believe my people need to know every last place, single place that we have. You need to know every place. Not just Tulsa, Oklahoma. Not just the move bombing. Not just the few you have heard about, but every last single one. Till you understand, overstand, get it, that there is never ever going to be a time where we will be able to exist together with such an entity that only wants to take everything that we have. The only way would be for that entity, for this sick, demonic, parasitic thinking movement that is infiltrated in their DNA. All of a sudden, one day, wake up, boom, something hits them, and then they say, we all have to stick together and protect the originals, those who gave us life, those who put the money and the wealth in our fucking pockets. We've taken everything from them. And then they say the shit today, oh, that was in the past. No, bitch, I just said today, present day. Don't play, because I'm not the one. You're not going to play that bullshit with me. Present day. Proof. Look what the fuck y'all doing now. If them people, they get together all together collectively and say, hey, we're going to go up against the government. We're going to restore restitution. Fuck reparations, restitution. Because restitution means you're going to restore. You ain't going to leave anything out. Fuck the Pope apology. Because if it was a real apology, that means there would be restoration and restitution. He don't give a fucking empty ass apology. Fuck that look like, oh, the Pope poo-poo gave a fucking apology. That was some dumb shit. Do we give a fuck about an apology at this point? Because if you're not upset, if you're not angry, because what I just read to you, it's not even it's a small, like, nanodot in the atrocities that they have done to us and still do to this day. Along with their fucking minionites, bootlickers, that don't mind taking the crumbs to help these savages destroy everything that we build, and then oppress those of us who tell the truth, because they don't want the truth out. Everything about it is just demonic and evil, and then you're under its spell. Because it's like a person who gets kidnapped and you're put into a fucking garage, and for 20 years, this is the only person that you see, the fucking oppressor. And because the oppressor gives you food every day and some water, your mind starts to think that there's a relationship there. You guys are having a couple of nice days and shit. He raped you, and you, after 10 years, think you're actually having a relationship. It's happened. That's what's wrong with us. We're sick. Because we've been infiltrated by a fucking infiltrator. A fucking parasite. But this parasite never loves you, never cares about you, never wants to see you on top. Nothing about it changes from the day that it took you. That's where you're fucked up. You're thinking something changed. You want to be a police officer and shit. Like, the fuck, that's sick. They use the police fool to terrorize our people. That never fucking goes away. And you want to be a police officer because we just want to get along. We just want peace. But we're not being given the peace that we've been earned in this fucking America. But you, sleep, stupid, think that there's going to be a day. You think there's going to be a day that we all just get along. And Jesus is going to come down, save all your problems. You can't have your heaven today. You're going to have it after death. That dumb shit. Bring y'all dumb, and y'all that's in the, bring your ass out the church. Like, we're so sick of y'all ass. I'm sick of y'all. You in the fucking church. There's no Jesus coming to save shit. We are it. We are. Not that it thing. I denounced that shit because they done came up with that to try to, these motherfuckers is evil. So now I got to be careful when I say that word. We are not that it thing. We are supreme. We are the beings of light. Okay? Don't let these motherfuckers tell you that we all have in us the RH factor. No, y'all just got the RH factor. Kind of a fucking rhesus monkey. That ain't us. I don't mean no insult, but then I really don't give a shit. But that's not us. None of this shit y'all told us is us. We're finding out who we are. And it's none of the shit that you said. So why the fuck would we listen to you? You don't make sense. Those back there in the background trying to, like, don't say shit. Because at this point, we know that you're liars. We know you stole all our shit. You don't want to give it back after you talk about all this, the law and all that fake ass shit. You're fucking pirates and cuckoo birds. Mimickers. You have stolen legacies. You have traumatized us. We should just be getting the fucking check on GP. Just from looking at your ass every fucking day. Just if I have to look at you, look at one of y'all motherfuckers, I should get a fucking check for that. Because you traumatized. You told us that we were slaves from the beginning and we weren't great. You told us that you were the Egyptians. And you told only your fake ass story. To make us feel inferior. You done horrible things to my people. And then you say, how do we owe? Bitch, you're doing it today. You still doing it. I watch you, the ones that say, oh, I'm not racist. I watch you watch somebody else do some racist shit. And then you go run like a fucking coward, go hide somewhere. Like, dog, get up out of here with that shit. All of you. But it's okay. Because I'm going to read what you've been doing to and what you continue to do to my people so that they can hear it out loud. Because they don't know. I know they don't know. We've heard surface stories about, yeah, it was a lot. But wait till they hear just a fraction. This is just a dot. This is a nano amount of what these fucking cuckoo birds, pirates, Mennonites, infiltrators, skin suit wearers. They still got pieces of our skin in their basements that they know their family had from back in the day. And they just walk right past, go look at it here and there, and smile, and then come out and play like they're not racist and shit. Some of you are sleeping with the infiltrators. You don't think that the ones that you're sleeping with are infiltrators. It's like basic knowledge 101 for fucking dummies. Because you don't fucking want to get it. You want to believe that this world is just not against us in this America. But this America every fucking day is against us. And I'm watching y'all. Y'all was, oh, I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. I'm a this and that. It don't matter what side you think you're on. You're not included in the party either. They're attacking our black judges, all of our black leaders. Even though they're doing everything right, like we've been doing. You seen Tulsa, Oklahoma? Tulsa, Oklahoma did everything right. And these cuckoo birds not only destroyed Tulsa, Oklahoma, but the surrounding beauty of it all, the connection, the vine, the veins, the lifelines. And then they told you you did it once. Yeah, you might have done it once. Yeah, Central Park, it was just small shit. No, it's all the time. We build. We're builders. We have the sacred knowledge. It's in us. It's in our DNA. We are not Neanderthals. We were directly made by the sun, the lifeline, the one thing that burns them. Facts. Oh, you said it out. I'm telling you the facts. We were kissed by the sun. The sun kisses us, gives us life. And some of them don't fare off too well. Things that make you say, it's all in the blood. The blood is where they're really jealous at. Okay? Wake up. But I'll be back with some more. But you best believe we have a lot of information about what's going to happen with us today with this same entity, the same wicked, demonic setup. What do you think going to change today? What do you think you're going to get out of it? We didn't have people with PhDs. We didn't have the people who spoke the most linguistical type of food fucking soup that you could come up with. Highly intellectually sound. To ring the bell in their ears. And they did not change. They did not treat you better. They treat you worse. We got doctors running out of hospitals talking about their experience and shit from like back in the 1960s. In the 50s. Because these cuckoo birds are jealous, demonic, and do not know how to receive your spiritual energy. They don't. They don't embrace it. They want you to hold your head down so that they can feel a certain type of way type shit. They don't believe in, hey, he earned his way, you earned your way, they don't believe in that. They knew it was harder for you. They knew they were given a torch and they flew around the motherfucker like 50 million times while somebody held their hand out and their leg out on your trip and made you go down the hill and up the hill and the long way. And they still want to see you fall. I'll be back because I got some more, and that's what I'm doing. Wake up. See the truth. Feel the truth. Bring your asses out of them churches. Because this is war against our people, and it always have been. You need to know exactly what these motherfuckers have done to our people. Why you going and dancing and clapping for Jesus to come out the sky, and these motherfuckers told you that you can't have your heaven here on earth. You're going to wait till you perish. Wake up. I'll be back. Hit the like and subscribe. If you don't like what I'm saying, move it on. Because it is what it is. And today we're speaking the whole fucking truth. Boom.